Shook Fieldhouse was a very iconic place. It was a former B-25 hangar, and it was supposed to be shipped to the South Pacific, and the war ended, and it was still in boxes. And I think it was Wilbur Shook, who was a Rose graduate and an architect from Indianapolis, knew that the building was available, and I think they got it for $1. And they brought it here, and Wilbur Shook designed it, designed the locker rooms and the entrances and so forth, and they built it. And for its time, it was the biggest and the best thing around. And it was the only indoor track facility, field house type of thing around at that time. And then later on, it was remodeled a couple times, and then in 1976, there was a major renovation of all the athletic facilities, and that's when we put in the tartan floor and ran the floor the other direction. The original floor ran north and south, and it was on the west end of the field house. But the floor was then turned the other way and centered, and with new bleachers and so forth. And really, the day they tore it down, it was a great place to play basketball. Now, granted, this place is a beautiful facility, and it'll be here for another 50 years or more. But the old field house had a lot of memories, had a lot of tradition. It was a great place to play with great sight lines, lots of room, and we used to really light that place up. When I came, the games weren't very well attended, and I don't know, and I was looking for a way to drum up enthusiasm. So I started collecting noise-making devices, and this became tradition, and we did it the same way every ball game. When the team ran on the floor, we had two big bells mounted on rubber-tired wagons that would gong back and forth, and then we had two police sirens wired to the ceiling in the field house. And when one would go all the way to the top, the other one would come down. It was constantly going like this. And then, of course, once that started, the band would go into Dear Old Rose, when the team would run out on the floor. And we ran out on a red carpet, and the students would line both sides of the carpet, and the team would run through it. So all this stuff was going on, the bells and the whistles, and then we shut off the cannon on the inside, and when the cannon went off, the guy let go of a rope and it dropped the banner, this banner that now is up against the wall over here. You know, they'd drop it right out of the ceiling. It was right out over the center of the floor. And so the cannon would go off and that thing would come down, and it was electrifying and became tradition. And we did it the same way every time for 25 years. They stopped that when I left. I don't know why they did. Frankly, I don't think they should have, because tradition is a very hard thing to build, and it takes a long time to build tradition. And they stopped that, and you know, I ran into some guy at an airport. He said he recognized me, and I played for so-and-so back when you were coaching there, and he said that was my favorite place to play because of all the activity and everything. We did the same thing when the team came out on the floor the second half. And we always made sure the other team was on the floor first, so they would feel the full blast of the cannon and the emotional part that went with it. It was also a very psychological thing, which worked on the other team. One time we were getting ready to play somebody I really wanted to beat, and I put a triple charge in the cannon. And sometimes it was so loud that I always made sure the thing was pointed at the wall at the end of the field house. It was a concrete wall. Jim Carr, who was intramural director, had a bulletin board just outside his office. It was full of papers. And anyway, they shot the cannon off, and the percussion from the cannon blew all the papers off the wall, and they just came floating down like this. But we did a lot of crazy things, which I think were fun. The guys enjoyed it, and our crowds were very good. We didn't seat as many as they seat here now, but we've had good crowds. When I came here, a lot of my coaching friends, and I hadn't coached that long really, but they said, don't take that job. You can't win there. They don't care. It's an academic place that they don't put any money into it. They don't care. You can't win. You'll get buried. you'll never get out. And nobody was standing in line to hire me either at that time. So anyway, I took the job and became to love the place. And it was always good to me. I didn't run around the country looking for other jobs when I was there. I was happy. I had other means of support in town, businesses and so forth, and I was happy here. And I always felt that Rose had the proper perspective on the relationship between athletics and academics.